5 scary ghost videos that are freaking people out. Poltergeist activity. Dark Ghost Paranormal is a YouTube channel from Russia. The one-man band is run by a young man named Dennis. Over the past few months, his videos have captured viewers' attention for the creepy old houses he adventures out to in order to investigate. This video, like many others of his, sees him stay overnight in a little cottage seemingly abandoned for decades now. This upcoming video of his shows him traveling to the middle of nowhere in the hopes of capturing some sort of evidence of the paranormal. Now, just a heads up, in this video we don't see any apparitions of sorts, however, it is pretty creepy. At the start of the video, he states that this particular house has a very active poltergeist and even says upon arriving at the place that he has some strange noises. Having heard these weird sounds, he wastes no time and sets up many different cameras and lights throughout the place. A few minutes into the video and something rather creepy happens. Having heard some sounds from another room, Dennis goes to check it out, only to almost get crushed by an old freestanding closet. Also just narrowly missing him a knife and what appears to be a rusty saw blade of sorts. Shaken up but not disheartened, the paranormal investigator continues his night by leaving that room and returning to another part of the house. Dennis decides to do a spirit box session in hopes of communicating with anything that may be there. However, as he's doing this, he hears some more unexplainable noises coming from, yet again, the same part of the house as before. He then gets up to check it out, and this happens. Dennis gets up and walks through the door to find that the old freestanding closet is now back to exactly the position it was before it fell on him. Confused and frightened by this, Dennis hypes himself up to continue in the hopes of actually capturing something paranormal on camera. But after a while, tiredness gets to him and he falls asleep on a couple of old chairs. Dennis falls asleep for a while only to be woken by an unknown loud bang. And dazed and confused, he gets up and looks around, but he doesn't see anything. However, one of his cameras picks up something really creepy moments before the unexplainable sound can be heard. Some sort of orb or mist can be seen drifting or gliding across the upper part of the room. Could this be related to the sound, or even the closet falling over for that matter? Could this be paranormal activity Dennis was hoping for? Who knows? Was any of this real? Was some of it real? Or was it all orchestrated by the YouTuber and a friend that night? Who knows? Regardless of whether or not it's real, his viewers seem to think it's pretty creepy. I suggest checking out Dennis's YouTube channel for more spooky, supposedly real content just like this. Once again, the name of his channel is Dark Ghost Paranormal. Dead Man Walks. In the 1990s, there was a TV show in Australia called The Ghost Files. In 1996, one particular episode that aired was so spooky that it freaked out many people. This very episode of The Ghost Files documented the story of a young man who was killed in 1918 during the Great War. His name was Freddie Jackson. And although death was relatively common back then in those times and in war, Freddie's death still shocked more people than you would think. It had an everlasting effect on a young woman serving in the army, not because she was in love with him, but because his face still haunts her even up to the date this episode was filmed, 75 years later. This is her story. Now, because this entire story is littered with half a dozen copyrighted music tracks or so, I'll just have to do the talking for her. This now elderly woman named Bobby Capel explains that she had a job in the army at the transport yard at Crown World in Lincolnshire in the UK. She explains that friendships among them all blossomed, then just one day before the unit was disbanded, it was decided that there should be a group photograph, a souvenir of their time together, something to keep forever. Bobby Capel remembers getting ready and looking smart for the photo. However, she also remembers someone that was missing in the lineup, a young mechanic called Freddie Jackson. Now, this was because Freddie had died only days earlier, though not at the hands of the enemy, but rather it was said that he had walked into a plane propeller. His was to be the one face missing from the photograph. However, it didn't quite work out like that. Bobby Capel explains that not too long after everyone in the unit received their photographs, a gasp was heard among many after a few people had recognized the face of Freddie Jackson. In the top row of the photograph, to the right and behind the shoulder of a man wearing the hat, is Freddie's face. Bobby explains how everyone in the photo is wearing a hat, but not Freddie. She also states that he would have definitely been in the group photograph had he not died just days earlier. But there he was. Bobby Capel also remembers the entire group thinking it was exceedingly spooky. They thought it was very eerie. A man who they'd known in the transport unit appearing so clearly when they all knew he was definitely dead. Now, remember, this was back in 1918 when photography was relatively new and Photoshop wasn't even a thought. Could this have been one of the earliest ghost or spirit photos ever caught on camera? Or could this semi-transparent face be nothing more than a creepy story or hoax of sorts? This is something that everyone will have to judge for themselves. It's definitely a creepy story either way. Dark Entity. Donnie Drunkard, if you didn't already know, is a channel based around Mark, or Donnie I might say, and his house. Mark for some time now, almost 2 years in fact, has been investigating in and around his own house in Canada after many odd and just plain creepy occurrences. Yeah, see, ever since visiting a cemetery in the local area, many of his viewers believe that he may have just brought something back to his house with him one night without realizing. I've gone through most of this before, however, if you're just learning of this now, here are 2 clips showing possibly what could have followed him home many months ago. Mark first unknowingly captured this entity on camera at a nearby cemetery, and then again many times over in his own basement. However, this was not all. As a big fan of Donnie Drunkard, I often check in with him from time to time on his live streams. A few days ago I came across another video that surprised even me. Mark was doing another investigation in the basement of his own house when a weird black mass darts or zips past him at rapid speed. The mysterious shadow is almost invisible to the naked eye until you slow it down, which Mark has done for us here. After having got up and checked it out, whatever this thing was seemed to have not only shown itself but also knocked over a couple of beer cans at the end of a dark hallway. Viewers of the original upload have commented that the black mass looks awfully familiar. Perhaps it is in fact the same entity or spirit that once supposedly followed Mark home one day from a local cemetery. Who knows? This, however, just like I stated earlier, is not all of it. The YouTube channel Donnie Drunkard has many more interesting and just plain creepy videos, including clips that contain EVPs, shadows, and things around the house literally moving by themselves.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
I highly suggest checking out Mark's channel if you haven't already. Once again, his channel is called Donnie Drunkard, and it's well worth a watch. The morning. A couple of weeks ago, I featured a Mexican couple who go by the name Equitim Dueto Paranormal here on YouTube. I showed how they accidentally captured on camera what appeared to be the spirit of a woman peeking in from outside their apartment. In case you missed it, here it is again. The couple were awoken in the early hours of the morning to what sounded like something or someone going through their apartment downstairs. It wasn't until their livestream viewers noticed this person or entity at the window did the couple believe it was something more than just an intruder. Little did I know that, at the time of putting this video together, the couple had actually had an experience very similar to this the night before. However, this time the couple were awoken up by the sound of something much creepier. They grab their phone, start yet another live stream, and head downstairs.
¡Hola, madre! Oh, no. ¡Ay, hijo de pinche madre! ¡Cállate!
Te ordeno en nombre de nuestro Señor Jesucristo que te largues de nuestra casa, maldita. Te ordeno que te largues.
¡Ya cállate!
The couple slowly make their way downstairs after hearing what sounds like a woman wailing or mourning. The sounds of the mysterious woman are echoing throughout the couple's apartment. However, when they search the place, there's just nothing to be seen. Confused and frightened, the couple continue looking through the place for answers, but they just don't find anything. They're about to go back upstairs and call it a night when something just plain scary happens.
Sí, es lo que te iba a decir, se siente un frío horrible. ¡A la madre!
Vámonos, mejor vámonos.
¿Qué es eso?
No me quiero imaginar. Memo, mi protección.
¿El rosario dónde está?
El rosario aquí está, pero están los otros rosarios adentro con los cuartos. Ay, no. No mames, te dije.
Hijo de su...
No los toques, no los puedes hacer.
No te pases.
The couple close their courtyard door and call it a night when a loud thump can be heard, followed by another sound. They both rush upstairs to check it out and find their protection beads or something similar has been thrown across the floor. Now, at this point, most people would probably be out of there. However, this couple, known as Equitum Duetto Paranormal, investigates places just like this all the time. Difference is, this is their actual home, and believe it or not, this is just the beginning of what happened that night. I'd love to just keep playing the video, but as you all know, I just can't do that, so if you've got a spare 40 minutes or so, be sure to check out this video in full. I'll leave the link below. But also check out their channel, Equitum Duetto Paranormal. Their content is really scary and seems as genuine as it comes. Not so convenient. The following video is from an unknown source and comprises of a woman speaking to her future viewers about what she is experiencing at work. You see, the Spanish woman appears to work at a convenience store or a gas station and states that the fridge doors have been, believe it or not, opening and closing by themselves. The unknown woman says that it's been happening all day, but it calmed down for a few hours. Until now.
Donde parte de la tarde se han estado abriendo y cerrando solita las puertas. Hay momentos que se calma, pero de repente empiezan otra vez a abrirse y cerrarse. Me voy a mover para allá para ver de cerca, a ver qué pasa. Nos vamos acercando a la cámara. Jorgito es uno de mis compañeros de aquí de trabajo. ¿Qué pasó, hijo? ¿Qué se cayó? Vean. Ahí ya empezaron a abrirse. Vean, observen. Híjole. Vamos a tratar de no acercarnos, Jorgito, porque... Vean cómo se están abriendo las puertas. Vamos a ver de aquel lado. Ahí se ve cómo se están abriendo y cerrando. Toda la tarde ha estado pasando esto, y inclusive ya hay gente que se dio cuenta, clientes. Y híjole, la verdad sí es un poco temeroso. Ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que, mira, vean, ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que viniera a ver esto que está pasando. No me cree, pero digo, vamos, Jorgito, allá atrás a ver qué pasa. Vean. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Vamos a arriesgarnos a ir.
The unknown woman attempts to get closer and closer to the fridge doors in hopes of getting something on camera, but she has no luck. She states that it's just herself and one other workmate working at the time of this recording, and he can be seen behind the camera. So what on earth could possibly be making these refrigeration doors open and close repeatedly like this? Could this convenience store be haunted by a past employee, or is it something easier to explain like a draft of sorts? Who knows? Leave your thoughts on this one in the comments. Ghosting you. To finish this video off, I thought we'd take a quick look at a supposedly real ghost photo. Why? Because it's creepy, but also because it makes for an easy thumbnail. Back in 2016, the Hollywood star Jessica Alba, who missed out on the role in the all-female Ghostbusters film, captured something spooky. On January 13th, 2016, the actress shared a picture on her Instagram after taking what she thought was just a mundane selfie. After looking at the image, Jessica Alba realized that there was some sort of eerie figure standing behind her in the background. Jessica's selfie appears to show a woman with dark hair and a pale, skeletal-looking face stood in the distance behind her. Fans immediately went into panic mode, fearing for the star's well-being following her terrifying discovery. Some followers went as far as suggesting that the ghostly figure was actually the spirit of the late singer David Bowie, who passed away just days earlier. That's, yeah. What do you think? If you or someone you know has taken a creepy video or photo and you think it's scary enough to be in a future video, send it to submit.shadowman@gmail.com and you may just see it in an upcoming video.